Hey, this is Jamie with FLA Tutoring. Today we're just going to do a brief introduction to comparing integers, specifically looking at two negative integers and seeing how they compare using an inequality symbol. So as you can see here on the right, we have two thermometers. And what I want you to do is just take a note here how one thermometer appears that it's going to be about along this line. So you can kind of see here as I'm drawing that it's about along this line, which means that the one on the left here appears to be -6 degrees specifically. The one here on the right appears to come in at -2, so it's at -2 degrees. And if we were to plot these on the number line, we'd say, okay, at -2 here, which is just 2 before the 0, we have one plot for the temperature, and then we'd say at -6 here, we have another plot for the temperature. And so what we want to do is we want to note here that toward this left side, it is going more negative, which means that it is lesser. And then toward the right side, it's going toward the positive, and so it's going greater. And so in this diagram, and with these thermometers specifically, we'll call this thermometer 1 here, and this other one thermometer 2. So we'll say number 1, and we'll say that this one's number 2. In this instance, even though the 2 here is a smaller digit than the 6, because they're negative and they're going away from 0, they're heading toward the lesser, the -6 here is actually less than the -2. So again, -6 is less than -2. And if we were to turn that into an inequality statement, we would write it like this: -6 less than -2. So again, this less than right here is what becomes this inequality sign. And I'm not going to get into too much with inequality signs at the moment. Hopefully you've checked those out before, but if not, just a quick note, the inequality here faces the greater value. So what that means is that, and I'd like to draw this for students often, if it was an alligator here, and I often call this kind of alligator looking figure Mr. Chomp Chomp. Mr. Chomp Chomp's hungry for the greater value. So again, -6 here is less than -2. That is what those symbols represent. So this is just giving us a little introduction here to comparing and ordering integers, and specifically thinking about numbers that are on the left-hand side of the 0, which are negative numbers. Again, the further that you go away from 0, again, here's 0, the further that we head over here to the lesser side, these are going to be smaller as we go. So again, they're going to get smaller and smaller. So anything that's over on this side toward the right is going to be bigger or greater. I hope that helps give you an introduction to thinking about integers and ordering them, and I'll talk to you later.